If I forget where I am when I wake up, I close my eyes.
When we made the first album, we were just sitting around, we weren't touring that much. We were kind of just hanging around at our houses, jamming around in our little practice space that we had at the time.
When we did The Finer Things, we were just given less than a month to write it and 3 weeks to record it. It was just this crazy, super quick experience. And it was just hey, boom, here's your record, done, go. We were like, wait, what the fuck just happened?
When it came time to writing this new record, we were just always on the road, so we didn't know what it was like to really write a whole album while we're touring, which is where the idea of the album comes. We didn't want to make a concept album. That's far from what Around the World and Back is, but the fact that we literally were around the world while we were getting things together, demoing songs. I was writing lyrics in Australia, and there's ones I look back and there's lyrics that are oh, I remember exactly where I wrote that line. There's whether it was in Australia or Japan or in the UK or something. That's what was kind of cool. It almost seems kind of cheesy. We're literally calling it Around the World and Back because we were around the world and back.
That was the first time we were naming something and picking art that we were just yes, that, let's go. So to me, I guess it just means the last 3-4 years of my life.
We wrote different riffs in Japan, Australia, the UK. So it was just when we were going through titles, it was the only one that made sense, really.
It wasn't just you're in a basement in Detroit writing this. No, you're seeing and experiencing so many things, and a lot of things for the first time. And I think that really influenced kind of what we were trying to do.
One day on Warped Tour, Ryan had his acoustic guitar out, he's just jamming, and he wrote the riff for All You Are's History, and I was like, man, that riff is so cool. And that was on Warped 2014 in the parking lot, right after Warped was done.
It was originally going to be a Speak Low song. And then we changed it up, we made it octaves. Tyler heard it and was like, yo, that's a sick riff. Let's use that for the record. And I was like, oh.
But I knew that we could do a better album than The Finer Things. The one main difference is that we just had so much more time to write the songs. And we had learned so much from The Finer Things that we kind of knew what to expect. We're like, all right, well, we like this from The Finer Things, and we kind of applied it.
How was that for you guys?
Honestly, rock hard. Come on. It's wildly inappropriate.
And actually, it was really cool. We rented out my old house, the house that I grew up in. We set up in my old living room. There's no cell service and there's no internet. My friend Josh and his studio partner Gabe for SNS Studios come from Syracuse. They set up a whole studio. And we kind of just jammed and then tore the songs apart.
We had to push ourselves. We had to say, this isn't good enough. We need to do better. We need to write a new song. We need to write a new chorus. We need to write a new part, blah, blah, blah.
And then we went in with way more songs with Around the World and Back.
We just really got to get in there, and I think that's really what set it apart for us, is that we actually felt comfortable versus feeling uncomfortable. We felt like we could create what we wanted to create without any sort of external pressure.
Welcome to the home. This is where it all starts. This is the beginning of LP number 2.
Last chance though, I'm gonna need all you got. Are you ready, Chicago? 1, 2, 3, go! Pull those eyes if I was the wrong one. You said it all and you made me the last one. Elevated by your greatest mistake, now I'm all alone. I bet you couldn't tell that I felt the same way. Struggling just to get to the next stop. Force-fed lies, so I'll am by your side. Shaking your rib doesn't change this. Preparing myself for a train wreck. I can't be saved. So tell me, why can't you say this is we need to be? You know what's taking it so long, but I don't feel invisible. So tell me, why can't you say this is we need to be? You know what's taking it so long. So I hope for a miracle. I look for a miracle. Holidays Santa make me feel whole again. Rainy days make me feel like the dream is dead. I can show you what it's like to be down when you're I'm quite blind to your design. Mine is yours and tell me why can't you see this is real? You know it's taking its toll on me, but it's on. Last chance, here we go! So tell me why can't you see this is we need to be? You know it's taking its toll on me, but I don't feel invisible. So tell me why can't you see this is we need to be? You know it's taking its toll on me. So I'll hope for a miracle. I'll hope for a miracle. Chicago, we did it. We'll be seeing y'all.
Shower in here. There's wet towels on the floor that I'm stepping on.
Somebody give me
$10 gallon stuff. Yeah. You see that? I don't need money. I'm rich.
Make you feel alive in the days not repetitive. Well, in my defense,
I don't even really know how to explain it. It just seemed like with the release of Around the World and Back, we just felt so much more like just legitimate. Like we just felt like more of like, I don't want to say a real band, but it didn't feel like Child's Play anymore. It wasn't like normally when you tell people you're in a band, like you're in a band, like okay, like I mean I still get it obviously, but it just seemed like with that it was like, yeah, you know, we sold 14,000 records first week and like we charted at like 30, and it just felt more real. It was like maybe it was just like the justification and like the validation, like it validated like our thoughts that we had. Like we always wanted to be like legitimate, like this like band that people like regard as like a big band, and I think the rollout of that record really did that for us mentally. Like also something happened where like out of nowhere like shows started to get bigger and better out of nowhere, and like we actually can like pay our own bills now, and that was the biggest thing. Like we can support ourselves, which is crazy. Like
fuck this place up, Glasgow, let's see it. Go!
Immediately, as soon as we started playing shows and playing songs off that record, they were the songs that were going off harder than anything else we'd ever done.
It seemed to just like spark something really quick.
But this felt like there was a whole new group of people that cared. And it was cool because it was coming off the back of the two biggest tours that we had ever done. We did a tour with 5 Seconds of Summer in Australia. We did a tour with All Time Low in the States.
After that, it was just the tour offers just kept on getting bigger and bigger. And
it was cool to have a record come out immediately following that, because that's what I think they think of when they think of State Champs.
We literally haven't stopped since Around the World and Back came out.
Too far from me. I'm always pacing back and forth inside just to find out what it
was
is.
Sick to have the record in Target. Like my mom went to Target with my sister and literally did like a photo shoot when she found my record, and like was posing at Target with it. It was really, really funny.
Being in Target was sick because I don't know, just like, I don't know why I always go back to people back home, but like people are like, yeah man, like I saw your band in Target. I'm like, yeah, fuck yeah, you did. Where you can buy like toilet paper and the new Champs record, like that's fucking sick.
As loud as you can in this room, this song's called Losing Myself. Let's go! I said I'll always remember the wood crate beneath my feet in a busy street. And if I said I was angry, but I think I'm still in misery. That was what I needed, and it took me by surprise. Sometimes I think I'm down for the city door. Can I think of quiet? Can I think of quiet? Stay down, but no, I won't fall. Can I really try it? I really try it until for life. That's what I'm talking about. And that the day I was selfish reminds me of my wasted youth and all the ones and twos. I try to live in the moment, reminds me of the time we spent trapped in your apartment. We attract what we're ready for. It's something I can't now jump. Sometimes I think I'm down for the city door. When I think of quiet, I think of quiet. broken, wasn't holding tight. But now I wanna know what it feels like. Sometimes I think I'm bound for the city door, but I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it. I'm dead for life. Call it off, I made my move. I'm defenseless and I could use some time on my own and a place to stay. I'm losing myself in the best way. Done with anything basic. I've had enough of the same shit. Yeah, me why? Voices, we attract what we're ready for. Let's shake this floor, everybody up! Sometimes I think I'm bound for the city door, and I think I'm quiet. I think I'm quiet. I'll stay down, but no, I won't fall, and I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it now. Maybe some promises were broken, wasn't holding tight. Now I wanna know what it feels like. Sometimes I think I'm bound for the city door, but I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it. I'm down for life.
It's definitely the only thing I could ever see myself really doing, and I love doing it. But there's definitely a side to it that it's a lot of work on all ends, like relationships. If you have a girlfriend, like boyfriend, whatever it is, like they want to see you. That's just what it is. And when you're gone all the time, it's tough.
There's always going to be a balance. You know, it can't all be good stuff. You know, obviously we sacrifice a lot back home, you know, when we're not there for 8 months a year. For me, it really sucks because my father is not in good health, and I feel, I don't know, maybe a little guilty that I'm out so much and I can't like be there for my family. And it just sucks to miss like weddings and birthdays, and a lot of things have changed in my life as well. Like, because it's so well received, because it's so in demand, like it's become a career for us.
You know, stay in contact with as much as possible, but like friendships at home, like everybody continues their daily life while you're out doing this, and then when you get home, like the world doesn't just stop.
Some more than others, but there's some songs on the record that like really hit home and like were super close and personal to me. What's cool about our songs and with our people that get attached to the songs or like feel a certain way towards them, what's cool about it is they can interpret it any way they want. Whether I write a song that's about like a girl, or if I write a song that's about like a certain issue in my life or something really specific or personal, they can take that and interpret it however they want. Maybe they take it to themselves and have it be about something totally different, and I think that's really cool that they can kind of interpret it that anyway. But I feel specifically attached to songs like Secrets and Losing Myself and All or Nothing. Those are like three right off the bat that I think are probably the closest ones that are to me. They all deal with like things like friendship loss and with like finding actual emotions that I thought I never had, because I'm not that much of an emotional guy. But that's where it all comes back, and I find out so much about myself is when I write songs like that, get done with it, and I go, wow, that is how I feel. Like that is something that I never really thought I had inside me.
It wasn't just like all fun and games. It was a lot of sacrifice. It was a lot of being away from home. It was a lot of missing birthdays and deadlines. And you know, like I said, like I was still in school, so I was like missing a lot of that stuff. I didn't even walk when I graduated because I was like, I have to tour. I'm on this tour. My mom got mad at me for that, so I'm sorry, Mom. I don't want to sound like I'm ungrateful because this is the coolest job in the world, but there's a lot of sacrifice and compromise and missing things back home. And that all went into the process as well. Like you can hear in some of the lyrics, like there's some struggling even though we're doing this cool thing. It's just like you have to put everything in it if you want to make it work. And sometimes that means scaling back on some other things that also matter to you. But
I guess 50% of me says like I'm drained and I want to go home and like see the people I love and reconnect with people, you know, that like if I'm falling out with, and like do that kind of thing, because I almost feel like a ghost kind of sometimes. It's almost like first world problems. Like, you know, we get to travel all over and we get to do what we love and we get to play rock shows and make all these new friends and do this thing. But like, it's important to not look back on anything and, you know, regret anything like that, which I don't. But, you know, there's always those times.
One more, leave it all in this room, all the energy you got left. All right, let's go! Last chance to sing with me, come on up and spit it. You caught me in the right place at the right time, so I'll just dive right in. You say you got a blank space in your right mind, well here's my second wind. There's something in the past tense, didn't make sense for this to follow through. What did you expect to happen? Were you met in with nothing left to do? You're making me sick, what is this? Hadn't we been trying too close before? Cause I try not forget this, it's lying face down. I've got more secrets than you'll ever know. Another year and you won't let it go. Too many times I told myself to hold on, but it's too late for me. Now I'm as good as gone. That's it, keep it going. Funny how we go way back and we said that wouldn't let this come between. Everything in is a truth that I could look past memories instead. I'm sick. You're happy you let go away. Something's telling me I never could have ruined everything you want in life. Cause you never put an effort and the truth is you were never doing it right. You're making me sick, what is this? Am I the one you can't ignore? Cause I cannot forget this. Hands up, face down. I've got more secrets than you'll ever know. Another year and you won't let it go. Too many times I told myself to hold on, but it's too late for me. Now I'm as good as. Alright, make some noise if you're having a good time. We're not done yet though, let's sing together, bring it home. It turns out I don't go down that easily. You'll never really know what this means to me. I know it wasn't never too much to hold, but you're still your own self-control. Turns out I don't go down that easily. You'll never really know what this means to me. Let's finish this party. It turns out I don't go down that easily. You'll never really know what this means to me. I know it wasn't never too much to hold, but you're still your own. It turns out I don't go down that easily. You'll never really know what this means to me. I know it wasn't never too much. One time, every hand in the air. Put 'em up. I've got more secrets than you'll ever know. Another year and you won't let it go. Too many times I told myself to hold on, but it's too late for me. Now I'm as. Not everybody wants an enemy. Call me the culprit and that's all you'll see. You were responsible for finding a way to catch up, but it's too late for me. Now I'm as good as gone. We fucking love you guys. Thanks for hanging. We're called State Champs.
So for this whole album cycle, we really wanted to like do something different, and you know, rather than just putting out the album or doing little like snippets and like we do like phone videos, and this time it's like we wanted to document and really give back to those who like let us do what we do, everyone that comes to the shows, buys the records, see like the friends that we make that like we get to share this journey with, and really show them something deeper, show them something beyond and behind the scenes essentially.
We went on this like really long, cool journey, at least for us. And we thought people might like want to see it as well and enjoy the ride with us.
We love our fans and we want to do anything to make them happy. I think that this will be something that they'll enjoy, and we just want to say thank you to them.
For me, I don't know about the other guys, but for me it was just like, I want to do something that bands I loved growing up and bands that inspired me to do this did. Because you probably only get to be a band once, and everything you put out only happens once. Like we can't re-put out a record, like you can't go back in time and like change things or whatever. So I think like if you only have like one shot, you may as well do the things you want to do.
I want to be able to go back and relive this and revisit these things. I want to be able to show people for years to come, like, yo, if this doesn't last forever, and nothing ever does, but this was a moment in time that was like the coolest thing in the world. You know, if I ever have kids one day, I want to like embarrass myself maybe, but hopefully get some cool points with my kids.
You know, we come from, you know, watching all of our favorite bands growing up that made us want to be in a band, do the same thing. There used to be little DVDs that would come with CDs from my favorite bands like Thrice and Senses Fail on The Starting Line, and I still watch them to this day, and I can tell you specific parts about each one of them. It's such a cool thing to look back on, see how bands do it behind the scenes and all the fun they have, and get to be put in their shoes a little bit. So we wanted to have one of those ourselves. We never thought we'd be able to have it like a DVD. You never want to look at it as like this is the peak and this is where like this is the ceiling that it hits. It's important to never have it be like that, but like the amount of stuff we've done this year is pretty awesome. Sure, there's success, and sure, it's hit a point where it's like, this is sick, but it really only feels still like the beginning. We're always still reaching. Like, we still want to build, and that's what's important with this band and with these guys. It's just like, we set the bar, and then we say what's next, and then we see where we can go from there, and just like another step. And you know, it's never gonna feel like, it should never feel like a chore, it should never feel like a job. There's days where it's always gonna be like that, but the moment we get together and be like, that was awesome, what are we gonna do now? Like, it still just feels like it's just the beginning. It's just the same way that when we started. So see where it goes from here. Gonna just ride the wave and have fun with it.
I'm gonna need your voices again. We played through the seams, called it a remedy. You can take care of me, but you know nothing about me. Let's go! That's it, pick it up out there. I don't see enough crowd surfing. Just started talking about how plainly the weather complements my mood. Cause when the sun doesn't shine, it rains in my mind like I've got nothing left to prove. Well, baby, it's difficult to call you out on being cynical. Well, maybe you're beautiful, that doesn't mean I don't stay amused. So I'm just saying, we play through the seams, call it a remedy. You can take care of me, but you know we play through the seams, call it a remedy. You can take care of me, but you know nothing about me. I started thinking about your smile that you buried in my pillow. Open the present disaster, maybe choking your laughter into something I don't know. When it's time to something wrong, cause I stay up way too late to write these songs. So I'm just saying while you're still, get the fuck up, come on. We played through the seams, call it a remedy. You can take care of me, but you know we played through the seams, call it a remedy. You can take care of me. Alright, now I need a favor, hands up. Nothing about me. Come on. You know nothing about me. Nothing about me. Now it's your turn. To make it seem like I've been trying. Our first day. Come on, louder. To make Make it seem like I've been trying. Fix it up out there. I've got no time. I've got no time. I've got no. Here we go. We play through the seams. Call me round it. You can take care of it, but you know we play through the seams. Call me. You can take care of it, but you know I know.
Yeah, Earth baby.